Oops. I forgot to say GG the first game. To clarify. Alrighty, what have we got going on here? No villages except for Madman from Hermit. There's other, well, Sailor. If you have a Sailor in play and mid-turn gain a Sailor, and Sailor plays that Sailor, you're getting actions out of that. So, for example, if you the fairy token on Sailor, play a Hermit, play that Sailor using the Sailor's effect, which made your Hermit effectively non-terminal. There is something to be said for that. You're building an engine on the back of that, though. I'm going to say Cultist does not look very good here. I have learned my lesson. We're going to pay attention to cards that can trash actions for benefits. If you give your opponent ruins, they can easily zombie apprentice them for net draw. Necromancer versus Cultist isn't a hard count or anything, because you can only do this maximum once per turn, given the way Necromancer works, and your opponent can give you like 3 or 4 ruins a turn. You can still get junked up, but it's something of a soft counter, plus Hermit trashes ruins anyway, plus you have limited terminal space, so if you're committing to Cultist, you're really committing to it. Get to the adding Cultist anyway. Um, Something to consider is Fairy does make it a lot easier to just take cultists in very large quantities. Like you open with 2 hermits, then you fairy cultists, and all of a sudden your hermits are just gaining all your cultists, then you can buy cultists for 3. And then if you put a bunch of cultists in your deck all at once, it becomes less viable to deal with the ruins as they come in. I don't think a cultist stack is out of the question. I still think I prefer something like Haggler or Dismantle even maybe as the terminal, and then Research as some amount of draw, not trying to draw your entire deck every turn. Maybe you add a cultist and then research it because you get the +3 card, and so you dismantle it for +3 cards and also gain a 4. I don't think the goal is cultist stack. I don't think that's terrible, but I don't think it's optimal either. How does one open here? A lot of viable possibilities, I think. Probably I don't spend Forest Dwellers yet and just buy a Hermit turn 2, though like a Hermit. I'm going to say Sailor seems like a good first 4. I get these cards mixed up. They look damn near identical, both orange and cost 4. And it is very fortunate that they're both in the same kingdom, because when they're next to each other, I'm like, oh, that one is Sailor. The odds that I see research in the kingdom and think it's Sailor, or see Sailor and think it's research, are like at least 50% when they're not both there. I think Sailor is better here, probably, because Hermit can trash the estates. Research is getting good at trashing estates, but not so much coppers. I think Sailor looks like the better copper trasher. So if I take Forest Dwellers here, there's 6 cards down there. There's a 50-50 shot that I reveal an estate. If I see the estate, I can pitch the estate and guarantee that I have a 4 copper plus sailor hand, play sailor, buy a second sailor, and that sounds lovely. Or you could even do play sailor, buy either sailor research, play it as way of the butterfly instead of playing it normally, and then just gain a 5 cost that way, which also sounds pretty dang good. I think that's worth doing this. Unfortunately, did not hit the 50-50, but now there's still a 1 in 3 chance that I bottom deck the estate and get to be a happy camper. We shall see. Or maybe I could also just ferry a sailor and then guarantee that I buy a second sailor. Then I'm hitting a huge number. I think I care about Hermit more than that. Yeah, didn't get the good draw. I think it was worth the shot. The odds were what, like 4 and 6 in total. Crime scene investigator. Just probably one more Hermit here. I think I want to ferry something. I'd rather do it on a turn when I'm playing Hermit because Hermit likes it when you don't gain cards in your buy phase, and Fairy is a thing that doesn't gain cards in the buy phase. So what would I like to the Fairy token on for the time being? Hmm. Do I need another Hermit? Or, yeah, at least one more, right? I got 2 estates left. Okay, Hakha does appear to be going for the cultists. I think I'm gonna say Fairy Sailor. Am I sure about that? I could easily see scenarios where my hermits collide, or just otherwise I would like to gain a sailor and do the little sailor trick to make it non-terminal, and that seems nifty. The downside is I can't do any butterfly tricks in that scenario because Sailor will cost 2, and if you butterfly, it will gain a 3 cost card. But then you can do the same thing but with research. And yeah, I think I like Ferrying Sailor. Other cards to consider could be like Haggler or Necromancer, cards I conceivably want soonish. I think I have a Hermit down there that bottom decked. Maybe I'm making that up. I feel like there's a Hermit down there that I was expecting to see and didn't. I shall simply buy a Sailor here. I'm a little surprised that Hakha is going for this strategy. I had him pegged as not being the highest on Cultist. Seemed like the sort of person who would skip it when possible, but no, he's committed. Okay, I think I trashed the. Actually, not clear whether I trashed the estate or the ruined village. Hermit can trash either. I think I'm gonna trash the. I don't know. I'll trash the estate. The upside of keeping a estate around is it's better if you hit it with research. And I could easily play a sailor, buy a research, and hit an estate immediately, which sounds nice. Upside of keeping ruined village around is I could always butterfly it to get it out of my deck. It would just return itself for no effect. There's nothing costing 1. Or I could, necromance it and trash it with zombie apprentice. I think those scenarios are slightly more plausible, but it's not actually all that clear. I'm just gonna take another hermit and bind thing. Okay. Gonna have a nice, big, beautiful turn here. So yeah, we're in the danger zone here of Haka has 3 cultists already, and if I'm getting hit with 2 or 3 ruins a turn, you need to have a fairly active plan to deal with those. Otherwise, you get swamped. So I can stay on top of that, have a deck that is somewhat under control, and trashes 1 or 2 ruins per turn. Then I can trash 1 or 2 more ruins per turn, and not get too junked by it. But if like you miss 1 or 2 trashes early, it starts to snowball, and then your deck is not together enough to trash the ruins consistently, and then the problem compounds itself. So do want to be careful here. I want a Necromancer in my deck ASAP. I'm surprised I don't have one already. Seems unlike me. I could gain one here by doing the butterfly trick. No, never mind. I was gonna say butterfly sailor and necromancer, but that's still too low. I need sailor to cost 3, not 4. Madman? That's a decent looking draw, I think. Play the sailors. I don't need to gain a whatchamacallit and do the thingamajig. I could. I would like to research this estate, if possible. Butterfly hermit into a research. It doesn't feel like the best way to get a research in my deck, though. I like the hermits. So, I mean, one option is just trash the estate, gain a sailor, play another hermit, gain another hermit, pass the turn. I have 2 more madmen in my deck. That might be the right answer. It doesn't get me a research or a necromancer, which are both cards that I want and don't have. I think that might be fine. What are these bottom cards? Charge 1 copper and 2 estates. I'm looking at 3 coppers. There are coppers down there, 1 ruin, and a mystery bonus card. Another, no, not a sailor. Haka has the 3rd sailor. Maybe I have another hermit that I've forgotten about. That's my hypothesis at the moment. That's not a bad hand down there then. Yeah, I'm just gonna gain a sailor, play a sailor, don't butterfly it, play a hermit, gain a hermit. Don't think I want to move that still. Oh, it's a madman. How exciting. It was a hermit. It's just not a hermit anymore. I am actually not sure what to do with this turn all of a sudden. It makes that sailor gain look maybe a little bit less good. I think I'm just trashing all the coppers and passing and buying a thing, but not playing the madman. I could not trash the coppers and play the madman and draw a bunch. But then failing to trash 3 coppers is a pretty big deal. Or I could trash a bunch, play the madman, and draw like a card, but that sounds terrible. I think I'm gonna do this. Butterflying ruins is actually not a sustainable solution. Something I just forgot about. It's only temporary because this sends it back to the pile, where I'll just regain it again. I gotta get them into the trash. I want them to be gone forever. I think probably, yeah, Necromancer seems like the best card to add right now. Research is also a card that I want, but I can always gain that and play it mid-turn with Sailor in a situation where it looks good. Okay, I expect plus buy plus top deck from this bauble, and then just two more cultists on top. Again, I think if you're in Hakka's shoes, the goal here is just give me all the ruins really fast before I can deal with it. Necromancer, trash ruin village, hopefully draw into a madman. I'll draw a bunch of cards off of that. Then I have a second madman down there. I have like three madmen in my deck, right? Yeah, I've got a million madmen. So this turn I probably draw my deck, maybe play Hermit multiple times even. I play a Hermit, trash a ruins, gain a Hermit, draw the Hermit, play Hermit, trash a ruins, and so on. I think I'm staying on top of things. And the cultist deck is still not that terrible. The bauble is actually pretty nice in the deck, something I didn't really think about. But getting to it's reliable plus buy and the top decking are both very valuable in a deck that is just drawing itself and then having no ability to play other actions. Madman? That's not a madman yet. I'm once again going to be in the situation of having a bunch of sailors to resolve and a madman, multiple madmen in hand. I'm probably not trashing any coppers next turn. That's fine. Probably Ruin Village is at least likely to be a good thing to get there. Just another hermit. Let's do it the fun way. I don't want to buy anything because or maybe I do want to buy anything. I do have three madmen already. I don't need to convert this hermit to a madman. I mean, the instinctive reaction is to just turn hermit to a madman unless you really want to buy something. But here, I feel like I got a lot of madmen already. I'm gonna take another hermit. Not sure if that's right. We'll find out. Successfully acquired all of the ruins, all according to plan. I'll see what I can do about that. Yeah. I want to draw 9 cards. I can't play the hermit first. Let's do that. Okay. So now I'm going to play 2 hermits, gain 2 more hermits, presumably. By Ruined Village. By Ruined Village. Do I want to get a sailor here? That might come up. I might need the village effect for something or other. Lets me play more hermits in total if I do this. I'm doing with the rest of this turn. I could play a hermit, trash a ruins, gain a hermit, necromancer, trash another ruins, draw the hermit, play that hermit, trash the ruins. Then I've gotten most of the ruins out of my deck. And then I pass the turn and have a million madmen in my deck. That seems good. Probably the best option. I want Haggler and such things, but maybe I gain those next turn. Uh, just have one more turn with a bunch of madmen to get everything together. And then on that next turn, maybe I butterfly sailor or researchers. Butterfly the researches into Haggler to gain Haggler. I also kind of want researches in my deck in general. I think that's how I plan to draw. I don't know. Alternative could be gain a sailor, play the sailor, trash a survivors or something. I think any line involves gaining hermit here. If I want to gain a sailor, I think I would do it off of this hermit. So either I play this hermit, just trash a ruin market and gain a something or other. Probably one more hermit. Uh, and then take 5 madmen. Hard to pass up on that. Or I trash a ruined mine, gain a sailor, play the sailor, play a ruined market. Now I have 9 money and 2 buys, and I could buy research plus haggler, which I could butterfly the research if I wanted 2 hagglers, but I think I'd probably just value research more than haggler in that scenario. I think I just want the madmen. Do I want to move the fairy token? I could move fairy to haggler or to cultist. Oh, the cultist might just be empty before I have a chance to do anything about it, but I wouldn't mind cultist in my deck just to research or to necromance. But if I fairy Haggler, for example, then I could butterfly sailors into Haggler or just gain them directly off of Hermit. Maybe that comes up as a way to get them easily. Don't mind the sailor trick either, though. I think I still value having on sailor more as a way to play multiple hermits. I don't know if that's true. I could ferry a hermit, and then if I butterfly the ruins, I would gain hermits. I don't think that's worth doing. It's worth thinking about, just because it brings me happiness. I think I just like it on Sailor more. I don't need a million hacklers or anything. One or two will suffice, given that I'm not going to have sustainable villages. These madmen shall run their course. So yeah, I think I have survived the ruins onslaught just fine. But now the question is that deck going to be better than the deck that's just a million cultists? I'm still not sure that it is. Do I want to trash a copper here? I think that sounds okay. Obviously, the reason not to is because I want my madman to draw more cards. Trashing a copper means madman draws one less, and then that means the next madman draws one less. But I've already got Necromancer plus Abandoned Mine in hand, and I could start off with that, and then the madman still draws four, and one more madman's planet to draw the deck. Interesting. I find that play from Hakha surprising. Okay, Hakha finds his own play surprising as well, it would seem. Did gain a handler. I'm confused about what he's confused about now. Oh, I see. I misunderstood what he was saying. He was asking, like, would you allow me to not gain a handler? Which, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I didn't understand the Hagler gain. It seems like Kaka didn't either. There's no way you're playing that Hagler ever in any circumstance. You weren't going to play it this turn, and if you didn't play it this turn when you had the Madman for a village, you're definitely not playing it in this deck full of cultists. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna trash in a copper and then not trash. And is there anything I care more about doing this Necromancer for? I don't think so. There's scenarios where Zombie Mason is going to be helpful. I don't think they come up here on this turn. Boom, all my cards. I think I'm fine trashing the Ruined Market. I could easily play it in the right context, but if it's in the trash, I always have access to it via Necromancer if I need it. I don't think I want it in my deck consistently. How about just one more Hermit? I'm not gonna trash that yet. I have too many Madmen. Unreasonable of me. So now what am I doing? I don't think I'm playing any more Madmen this turn. I'd like to conserve them because they're not easy to get. I don't like passing my turn, but I do like Madmen. Quite the tension. So I could play a Sailor, Butterfly Hermit, gain a Research, Butterfly the Research, gain a Haggler. And I've got a Haggler in my deck. Yeah, what if I play both Sailors, Butterfly Hermit, gain Research, gain Haggler, one more Sailor or two more Sailor effects left to resolve. I could play the Ruin Market. I'd have 6 money. I could buy another Research, turning it into another Haggler, or I could gain another Necromancer. I could buy a Bauble or a Sailor or something. I think something involving those lines sounds good to me. Gain me a Haggler, and then what do I want? I think for sure the $2 buy is going to be another Sailor, which I'm happy to get in play. And would I rather that be probably another Hagless, but another Necromancer. Love to like buy products, gain some golds next turn. I got to do it this way to make sure I have enough money left. Yeah, this is a final turn. If I only had two sailors in play, I would have had to do the buy sailor first and play it. Then the sailor I just played with the previous sailor could do the research thing. But I had an excess of sailors anyway, so the order ended up mattering. Probably should have done it in the other order just out of principle. So yeah, I think Hawkeye's deck is going to hit province pretty consistently. It could conceivably double province off the bauble. I'm not sure whether he's going to build all the way to that. He has a bit less deck control than I do, I think. Um, so I wouldn't be surprised if his game plan is just buy one province per turn. When you hit your bobble, you can do province plus top deck and cultist. And then maybe in a rare scenario, you buy two provinces. I think my goal is to buy one province this turn, gain some number of golds. Oh, he does have his bobble. You little devil. 10 money seems like a slightly awkward number for the purposes of buy province top deck cultist, because you can't do plus buy and top deck and coin. Could be province buy cultist, don't top deck it. It could be buy province top deck a bauble. It could just be top deck a cultist another bauble and maybe build a little bit bigger. I could even imagine a series where Hakha takes a research. You'd probably want to move the fairy token though. Research trashing cultists looks great, and Hakka's deck is full of cultists. If you top deck a research, you can kick your turn off by doing that and then play the rest of the cultists. Oh, he's got two baubles. He was holding out on me. Okay, I don't think he's buying province here then. With three buys, no, maybe he is. Never mind. He tricked me. I thought with three buys, there's a lot more you could do to build, like multiple cultists and another bauble, or do the research thingamajig. But yeah, he has unambitious game plans. What a pedestrian. Okie dokie. Uh, I can gain something with this Hermit before I play the Madman, and then I can draw said thing. What should that thing be? Don't know. I think I would like to conserve at least one Madman, right? I like having the Madman, and I also like buying things. We've been over this. So I've got three terminal action plays to work with, basically. So probably, well, do I need plus buy this turn? I should probably get a bauble, actually. Yeah, maybe bauble is just the thing to gain off of this Hermit. Yeah. Why do I need to count on Necromancer like playing Ruin Market when I can just take non-terminal plus buy? I don't know why I didn't think about that sooner. Okay, so now I do that. So my two terminals for the turn are the Hagglers. I don't think Necromancer's doing anything interesting here. Sad. This is oodles and oodles of money. What do I do with it? I think I'm like in let's buy and top deck. And then what do I put on the top of my deck such that I can go hog wild? I think I like top decking a research and a cultist. Then I can research the cultist. And then I would be happy. Pretty sure that one of these buys province and two golds. I'm entering the stage of the game where terminal space is becoming more limited. I can't count on playing Hermit, for example, except by way of the Sailor thingy. Not playing this Ruin Market consistently. I'll have two actions next turn, probably, or the turn after, whenever I play the Madman, and then I can do the double Haggler one more time. So I should probably be transitioning towards research draw. So I think that's province, two golds, one research, one cultist. Don't know what the last card I gain is. I think Haka does not have enough plus buy to reasonably threaten the Sailor cultist pile out. Maybe he could if I took two cultists. He's only got the two baubles. Maybe that's not true. Maybe he can't even threaten the Sailor pilot. I don't need two cultists. One cultist is fine. Um, let's start with this. Haggler, gold, don't top deck. Actually, hmm, the case for top decking the golds, even though I don't want them in my starting hand, is if I kick off my turn by researching cultist. Gold is probably a card I'd rather not have set aside. Honestly, it's not a big deal. If it gets set aside, it gets set aside. Who am I to try to contravene fate? Yeah, so now I want a cultist and a research and a bonus third card. But I don't know what that third card should be. Can I do one more bauble? Do I need? I don't think I need three buys very much. I mean, it could be a gold, but then I have to buy the gold, and that's just gross. I'm not that desperate. I'm gonna take a cultist, top deck the cultist, gain a research. Oh, I could play the research immediately. Didn't actually think about that. Gonna be honest. Ooh, do I want to do that right now? I mean, why not, you know? They gain a second research. I like my necromancer though. I don't want him to die. It is for the greater good. Let's just set aside now. And I'll regain the necromancer. Sure, you can be on top of the deck. Okay, Hakha has just should have drawn his deck. I hope I'm not wrong about him not having a pile out. But yeah, he's double province in here if he wants to. Last three cards in his hand are a province, a bauble, and a duchy. I think the most likely play here is just take 2 coins, one buy, one favor, and buy 2 provinces, and then forest dwellers next turn to make sure you kick off. And then he's reasonably likely to hit. Actually, I don't know how likely it is that he hits double province again, because he has to find every single treasure in his deck, and the more provinces he adds, the less likely it is that he draws all of them. He was just barely drawing his deck here. So actually, I think it's unlikely that if he does that, he'll hit double province next turn. He could consider single province plus something else. Also see just double province now, and then in the likely event you don't hit double province next turn, you do single province and a something on the following turn, and then you're still fine. What am I doing with my necromancer this turn? Don't know. 2 provinces, yeah, fair enough. Would I like to trash the coppers? Maybe too late in the game for that to be a good idea. Say no. I like money. I think I want to draw my deck. Goodbye, cultist. Oh no, that was the wrong one. Oopsie. Alright. I gotta make up back one more. Zombie apprentice, there you are. Okay. Do I play the madman here? Or do I save it for the following turn? There is a haggler down there. Let's see how much I hit if I just play the haggler here. I've got 10, 11, 12, 14, 15 money. 15's a big number. I could buy double province here, I think, fairly safely. Again, Hakha hits double province if he draws his deck. But he has, what, like 8 cultists and 18 cards. He'd have to bottom. Oh, well. If, for example, he does his little forest dweller thingamajiggy and he reveals 2 victory cards on the top, of which he's got 5, and he pitches those, then I think he's almost guaranteed to hit 16 again. Or if there's just 2 victory cards on the bottom there naturally, he hits 16. So double province here is not that safe. Well, let me consider, can I win in 2 turns if he does 2 provinces? Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Actually, maybe I should even briefly consider if I can win this turn. Something to think about here is my hagglers can gain researches, and then the sailors can butterfly them into duchies, and that's just a lot of points. That's a lot of points. Many points. Oh man, how exciting! Yeah. So what if I play these 4 sailors? I just gain a billion. Yeah, I want to play my madman. I think it feels a little silly because it's just drawing 2 cards. But man, would I like to play these hagglers on the turn that I've got 4 sailors in my hand. Hermit can gain a sailor for free. I don't think I'm too worried about the pile out where I'm headed. I do this. But I still have this Ruin Market in my deck. How have you not died yet? Go plus buy top decking. So is this a win? I don't think it's quite a win, right? You could buy 2 provinces and gain 3 sailors and a cultist, but that's not enough points. I could buy 2 provinces, gain some number of duchies, and also do the other stuff, but then I'm not piling out. Now I'm really wishing I had a third buy here. I certainly can't put up enough points off of the double province so that double provincing back would be a loss for Hakka. I don't think. I could gain maximum 4 duchies here. And probably what I ought to be doing is actually what ought to I be doing? If I want to take another cultist, which I sure would not mind top decking like cultist plus necromancer again, for example, then I have to take a points lead because Hakka can take 3 sailors. I don't think he can take 3 sailors and another victory card with just the 2 baubles, but he could take 3 sailors easily. So I'm gonna take a points lead and a cultist and a necromancer. Eh, surely I'm taking at least one province. So let's say I do one province, 2 butterflies, gain 2 duchies, up to 15 points. I would need. I could do. See, I could do 2 provinces, 3 duchies, take a necromancer. Sorry, take another cultist and top deck it probably. I think I can't. Let me undo this. Oopsie. Let's undo the gold play. Could keep a gold in my hand, do a bunch of buys, gain another research, and set aside a billion things. And then I could just not lower cultist and already have a big hand ready to go. Plus buy, and then I don't need the top decking effect at all. Take favors or something. Okay, so what if I do like I wish I had a third buy. A third buy would make this much easier, I think. And I probably could have gotten a third buy somewhere. I think I neglected Bobble a little bit. Not both for Hawkeye's deck and for mine early in the game. Should have found a place to fit it in. Anyways, province, 2 more golds, duchy, and a research, dash of gold, set aside all the things, and then just like another necromancer on top, perhaps. Maybe that should just be province and some more duchies. Actually, would be better than golds. Yeah, I think I care about the points more than the golds here, right? Butterfly in a duchy. Butterfly in a duchy. I do duchy, gain a necromancer, plus research, play. Now I'll have a big hand here. I'll see what Haka can do. I now have no villages, so this turn will be worse. But it will also have a million sailors in play. So I have all the money that I need to do things with. If I don't find my bauble, I can always. No, I was gonna say if I don't find my bauble, I can always play the ruin market. But I still haven't trashed it, so it's not in the trash yet. Maybe if I find my ruin market, but not my bauble, I play that. We'll see what happens. I hope I haven't missed anything about Haka's deck, but I'm pretty sure he can't do cultist and 3 sailors. And I think if he takes 2 provinces, I still have some likelihood of winning here off of province and 2 duchies is possible. Like yeah, if I well, 2 provinces might still be a win, at least a tie for Haka. Ooh, that'd be a winning tie, yeah. I think if he hits 2 provinces, he might still just win here, but he's got a copper in his discard, so I think I'm fine. But I'm surprised that he discarded that copper. Maybe his starting hand was exceptionally bad. He just needed to make sure he found a cultist. But I think in Haka's shoes, the thing you would really like to do is draw all of your treasures and just hope to bottom deck 2 victory cards. Looks like he found 0 victory cards, but I don't know how likely that is, but it feels unfortunate. The odds that he found at least one were not bad. Which we're really hoping is to bottom deck 2 victory cards. If Haka's bottom 2 cards of his deck are victory cards, then he hits 2 provinces, and then I think I'm in a sticky situation. I might be able to beat that, but I'm actually not confident. But discarding a copper just 100% guarantees he doesn't hit 2 provinces this turn unless I'm missing something. And I think if there's 2 provinces left in the pile, my odds go up a good deal. I've got 10 money coming in. My deck doesn't have that much more other money in it, given that I just researched the gold, but you know, interesting kingdom at least. So what do you do if you're Hakka? I guess province duchy? And then probably you have enough money to top deck a poultice or something? My turns are getting worse. My madmen are out. They're all back in the pile now. So it is not unreasonable to leave provinces at 2, for example. I might win in that scenario, but it's not guaranteed. I mean, I have 5 extra cards coming in, but if he's paying attention, he knows they're mostly duchies, so not the most reliable of all time. It's functionally a 5 card hand, and I just don't have the extra victory cards. Well, I guess 6 card hand. One of them's a necromancer. I don't know why Haka is not playing all of his treasures immediately. He doesn't have any ability to do any mid-turn research tricks or anything. He doesn't have a sailor in play. Okay, so maximum 3 buys, 14 money. Not a huge number, unless he has some bonus treasures he's still holding out on. Kind of looks like Province Duchy. I'm not sure which of these cards I trash with Necromancer to kick off my turn. If I plan to have 2 more turns, Hermit could come in handy because I can get a sailor in play for free on the likely assumption I draw one of my 2 sailors. The research also is helpful in a world where I have 2 more, plan to have another turn. Obviously, I'd love to research something. And it's also a card I could butterfly into Duchy if needed. I don't know. I could Necromancer one Necromancer with the other Necromancer and trash that, but I wouldn't mind leading with, say, Zombie Spy either, and then playing the second Necromancer. Ideally, I draw that Ruin Market that somehow has eluded death for many turns now. I haven't been keeping that on purpose, I don't think. It's just never come up that I needed to trash it with a Necromancer for draw. And if I don't need to trash it immediately, I think I would just keep it in my hand until such time as I need to trash it for draw. And now it's not in my hand when I would like to have it. I guess another option for Haka could be something like Province, top deck Cultist, and buy maybe top deck a Bauble. That gives you fewer points. Like the likely scenario where you lose on points is just me doing double Province, so maybe the Duchy is not helpful for you anyway. And then decking Cultist and buying a Bauble means you're not threatening it to pile up sailors on me. I could cheekily prevent that by butterflying my sailors to increase the size of the pile, but that's not easy for me because it's a terminal action play, and then I don't have villages. All right, he does go with the Duchy. Ooh, this is a confusing play, I think. I'll have to evaluate this in a second. My instincts tell me that's weird and wrong. I don't like what he's doing. It looks like he's trying to play around a double province end. Now the duchies are super low, as are cultists. Maybe he's thought about. I mean, clearly he's been thinking over there, and I've just been saying random stuff. But that it kind of looks like you're just open up a duchy cultist pile or something. Which if I can do double province, that might be even easier. Like duchies are not that hard for my deck to get, I don't think. Yeah, looks like all of his thinking was for naught, and he has immediately undone that play. Maybe he's listening. Hi, Haka. I think if you're Haka, your win condition is emptying provinces before I can do anything about it. Uh, I think I give myself greater than 50% odds to win, but it could hinge a lot on what I draw here. This starting hand is okay, but not phenomenal. I tend to cut out a lot of these long downtimes before ever uploading any of these videos. Let the record reflect. Haka's put quite a good deal of time into this decision. Better be something that knocks my socks off. Oh, it's Necromancer. I mean, I like Necromancer, so can't really complain. I guess it's better than top decking Occultist. In the very likely scenario, you have a Cultist in your starting hand. Necromancer is drawing you way more than one Occultist would. Oh, Forest Dwellers is actually lovely here. I forgot I even had a favor. That makes it a lot easier for me to line up my Necromancer with whatever card I want to find. I guess I click this now and then think, Gold Haggler Hopper on top. It's an interesting set of cards. For the most part, cards I think I want to draw, but I think the card I really wanted to find was just the Ruined Market so that I could trash that. So do I have a win here? I guess first thing to consider is, can I do double province? The big problem with hitting double province is I need to find my bauble, which I don't have in hand yet. I have 10 money, 11, 12. I wouldn't even need the copper, right? 10 money plus copper gold haggler hits double province. So, for example, I could discard the copper. Necromancer trashes one of these cards and draws gold haggler and one mystery card. Then the other necromancer plays zombie spy. That gives me a 40% chance to hit double province, which would be a win. Don't love those odds. Can I improve on that somehow? What are my bottom 5 cards? Suppose I ought to consider that. There's a bauble down there. There's a ruined market. All of my victory points are accounted for. There is 2 sailors, bauble, ruined market, 2 sailors, and 1 gold, 2 coppers, bauble. Another haggler, right? Bauble, ruined market, 2 sailors, and a haggler. Curious. Okay. I feel like I can do better than 40% odds to win, right? If I get a sailor into play, I don't think there's anything useful I can do with that sailor as far as getting to double province goes. Like, sailor could conceivably get me another duchy, maybe, if I play the haggler and then do the little sailor research trick. I don't think finding sailor is imperative otherwise. Is there... I think I'm probably short on gains for other pilots, right? Well, province duchy wins with a haggler in play, right? I buy a province, gain cult. No, I only have 1 haggler in play in that scenario, not 2. I had 2 last time. I won't have 2 this time. I would need to have 2 hagglers in play and do province duchy, gain cultist, sailor, sailor, sailor. That doesn't cut it. If I play a sailor, play a hermit, gain a sailor, buy province, gain sailor, buy cultist, gain sailor, that's a losing tie. I don't have a way to fit in a third state gain or something into that, I don't think. What if I pitch the copper and the haggler? Then I play Necromancer as Zombie Spy first, draw the gold, see a top card, potentially pitch it, and then crash a second thing as Zombie Apprentice. Then I get to see 4 of those bottom 5 cards. And if I find the second haggler plus the bauble, I win in that scenario. Either of those bottom decks, I think I don't win, at least not immediately. I could potentially play on. I think that's better odds, right? That's 60% odds to win. If neither of them is on the very bottom, then discarding these 2, doing it in the reverse order wins. The downside of this is I am pitching the haggler. Upside is I get to play zombie spy first and then make use of that. I really want to make sure I find the bauble. I'm thinking that sounds best. Don't trash anything. Alrighty. Actually, this is a little bit less than 50%, right? Because if I see one of the 2 cards I want to find on top, I have to leave it there. But then I only see 2 more cards instead of 3 more cards. Okay, that's good news, I think. And then I trash the... This is now 50-50, right? We win immediately. Ah, dang it. Baubles on bottom. Well, that's no good. This isn't necessarily over, but now I'm low on points and piles are low. And Hakka's gonna have a good next turn. I think I'm likely to lose next turn. There's just no way to draw 1 more card, I don't think. Nothing fancy to do with Sailor here. I might as well go and play it probably. I'm not even sure that's correct. I might end up undoing that and researching the Sailor, just put 2 cards in my hand. Probably I'm going to research the Haggler and play the Ruin Market. I'm not going to have as much money next turn. either. There's just one sailor in play. I'm gonna have a lot less money next turn. Province Duchy here just loses to a single province, which Hawkeye is very likely to hit. And he could just miss Necromancer or miss Cultist entirely. You never know. So by two duchies. I research Haggler. The problem with any of this is my next turn is not going to be nearly as good. Hawkeye's turn is probably still going to be decent. I think it was important that I win this turn. I think I had better than 50% odds to win this turn. And I whiffed on it. Pretty sure I'm doing this. I mean, next turn I'll have a glitter copper and a bauble, but and a sailor. That could be like a province and a duchy right there. I think I just take two duchies here, and then that gives me equal on points. If Haka buys a province, I need to hit 8 next turn though. I'm looking at 2 money, 4 money, 5, 6 money. Basically, I need to find my gold next turn. If I find my gold next turn, then I could do province duchy, and that would beat province. I think that's my best chance of winning. Um, okay. So this wins versus a province. We'll see what Haka's deck can do. Please don't have cultist, please. It would make me very happy if you didn't. The fact that he's thinking is at least a good sign. I would think that if you have a cultist in your no, please don't. Yeah, okay. I don't know why there was any thought there. Like, what else are you conceivably doing with that? I guess he was maybe considering. Oh, spy, please don't plus spy. No bubbles. No bubbles, please. I bottom deck mine. You can reciprocate the favor. No. Okay, that's a loss, I think. Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, that's just a pile out. I am so upset by that game. I liked how I played it better. I think I was at least somewhat favored to win. A little bit of an unfortunate draw there at the end. Maybe I could have played the end game more cleanly. I'm not sure. Uh, I think missing the bauble was unfortunate. Probably should have fit in a second bauble at some point.